amazing Rockstar game that's criminally underappreciated, The Warriors. The Warriors, a beat-em-up game, is based on Walter Hill's 1979 favorite cult film of the same name. Was published in 2005 by Rockstar for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. While it may seem strange for a developer to put any effort into recreating such an obscure and peculiar film in game form,
I'll shove that bat up your ass and turn you into a popsicle.
I'll shove that bat up your ass and turn you into a popsicle.
The Warriors has shown that such an attempt may be well worth the effort. The Warriors didn't just repeat the narrative, it also gave the characters and situations many context, and it was a remarkable backstory. Furthermore, with a consistent focus to make gang conflicts look and feel just right, the gameplay served as some of the most excellent beat-em-up action you can find in the 3D age of gaming. With only a few minor translation kinks here and there, the gameplay, plotline, and presentational elements have all held up well, and rather than cramming in a bunch of unplayable extra content in a futile effort to make the game look fresh and original, 18 months later, Rockstar chose to keep the price low at $20. That's a hard offer to pass up if you've never played the game on other platforms. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
We'll get it
You
on.
don't get it. I don't like it rough.
Your nights in the park are over for a while, honey. You're under arrest.
Hey, lady.
A beat-em-up with a lot of panache. On the surface, The Warriors appears to be a mashup of the Rockstar titles that have been successful in recent years. In other words, it's Grand Theft Auto combined with Manhunt without the massive streaming universe or borderline sociopathic strangeness. Fortunately, it's also a lot more than that, with a powerful combat engine, improved artificial intelligence, and a mission-based architecture that allows players to hop right in and accomplish precisely what they want without messing. The Warriors is all about telling a tale, and one of the reasons it never seems as repetitive as some of its competitors is that it's all about telling a story about how a gang from East Coney ascended to dominance and ended up being blamed for the death of New York's most prominent mob boss. The game includes a lot more plot and backstory than you'd anticipate. Events are based on the film. The film didn't devote much time to history or storyline beyond the gang's escape from the meeting and following a perilous journey back to Coney Island, the home territory. However, the game goes back and provides some backstory for these individuals and the numerous other gangs that populate New York: Swan, Ajax, Cleon, Vermin, Cochise, Cowboy, Snow, Fox, and Rembrandt are the 9 main characters you come to know pretty well. It's even better than you may think. You'll get to play as each of them at some point over the game's 20-plus story missions, and you'll learn how Cleon and Vermin founded the gang and how each member joined. Compared to Grand Theft Auto, Manhunt, and most of Rockstar's previous action games, The Warriors offers a robust storyline. The beauty of this is that the game isn't actually about the movie for approximately 80% of the time. Cleon and the group only find their way back to Coney Island in the last 5 missions or so. Even the most fervent Warriors fans will learn something new, whether it's how Vermin and Cleon came up with the idea for the gang in the first place, or how Cyrus came up with the idea for his 60,000-strong inner-city army. Fortunately, these moments are well told, and neither of the cutscenes feel superfluous or slapped together.
Check it, young blood. Always remember, the Warriors don't let no one mess with our rep. I don't care if they're orphan or riff. You fuck with us, you get your fucking head split. That's the only way we're gonna come.
The Warriors' tale isn't the only area of presentation that shines. The entire graphical aesthetic is also impressive. Rockstar went back to ancient plans and images of a very different New York City in 1979 to make things realistic, and the game is every bit as gritty as the film that inspired it. Hairstyles, dress styles, graffiti tagging, vocabulary, marketing, and music are natural. Though the surroundings and human models are more detailed than in GTA, They still lack the intricacy found in other current video games, and in many ways, previous second-generation PS2 titles. It helps that the gameplay and narratives are both well written, and the dialogue, although curse-filled and generally brutal, fits well with the Warriors' hard-edged tone. It's worth noting that you shouldn't expect to play as a group of Boy Scouts battling for justice in this game. The Warriors are all morally corrupt in some manner, and even though they are the central protagonists and are typically charming individuals, they are still street thugs just like the rest of them. They vandalize, rob, and fight for a living, scouring the streets for ladies and throwing switchblades to boost their street cred. You'll be performing all of these things throughout the game. The Warriors is mostly a beat-em-up, which means you'll be doing a lot of brawling.
Empty your pockets now!
Stay calm, man!
Each of the Warriors fights in a similar manner. You have weak and strong strikes that may be combined into a variety of combos, and a grab move that can be used for grab attacks and throws. Jumping and ground strikes are included in the mix as well. As you knock idiots silly and rip the scenery apart, various sorts of weaponry will fall at your feet, and there's a vast selection of materials to bop with, ranging from basic bricks and boards to shivs and bottles. But there aren't any firearms. The Warriors' core fighting engine is relatively straightforward. Still, the unpredictability of the settings and the sheer number of warriors that might be on screen at once can make things incredibly frenetic very quickly. It's impressive because even though you only have a few techniques to pick from, you'll still have to be meticulous in your attack tactics or end up flailing wildly in the air, enabling 8 adversaries to surround you and beat the heck out of you. Occasionally, you'll find yourself doing or observing something at the perimeter of giant brawls that strike you as fantastic. Thanks to several tactical directives you may give your gang members, the mayhem can sometimes be made more deliberate. These brief, simple instructions, dubbed War Chief commands, can prompt your troops to do everything from scattering from cops to outright smashing anything in sight. You may direct them to come in and get your back if you're in a defensive posture. Tell them to follow you if you certainly have to get away. While many beat-em-ups become tiresome after a few hours merely because they rely on sending waves and waves of bad men at you, the Warriors avoids this trap by interspersing the action with a variety of different duties. You can be assigned with just collecting protection money from Coney Island establishments, stealing vehicle stereos, or breaking into and robbing shops.
Take it all!
You'll also find yourself in a heart-pounding pursuit scenario, fleeing rival gangs, or chasing down a rat who has offended your squad. You'll have to be sneaky a lot of the time. Otherwise, big swarms of rival gang members or cops may come crashing down on you. Sometimes it's when you're attempting to flee, and other times it's when you're out to make a statement, such as in a graffiti tagging competition. The stealth sections of the game are arguably the weakest, simply because stealth strikes are more difficult to execute than they're worth. The level designs frequently give plenty of neat hiding areas and various pathways to check out, and it's seldom too tough to bounce your way out of a terrible situation if you do find yourself in one. Rival gangs aren't necessarily the most difficult opponents to defeat, but they don't always go down without a fight. They always have numbers on their side, and the AI of gang members is typically rather good. Cops, like gangs, will swarm in large numbers, but they're extremely difficult to take down. They have a horrible habit of detaining your comrades in arms, compelling you to hurry over and unlock them via a fast button-mashing minigame on a regular basis. When possible, try to avoid officer clashes. Nevertheless, this isn't always feasible, and these brawls may aggravate. Fortunately, the Warriors has a strong checkpoint save system, which means you won't have to repeat extended sequences too often. In the end, The Warriors excels in tying the film and game together. For those who haven't seen the movie, it was a mockumentary of New York's gang scene from about 25 years ago, with lots of kooky-themed gangs like the Hi-Hats, a group of malcontent mimes who run Broadway, the Baseball Furies, a crew of baseball fanatics complete with uniforms, bats, and weird face paint. All of these gangs exist in a dark, filthy, nearly post-apocalyptic image of New York City. Every structure, tree, and the automobile has a dingy, filthy appearance, which is ideal for the film's image. The gangs are given greater screen time in the game, with organizations like the Hi-Hats, Destroyers, and Boppers getting more attention. It also transforms scenes from the movie, such as the struggle against the Baseball Furies and the ambush by the all-girl Lizzies, into fun gaming segments. Some of the boss battles in particular are quite enjoyable. A few come across as a touch haphazard, but they are in the minority. Multiple multiplayer options are available, including ad hoc 2-player co-op for each story objective, and a few unique mini-games like Rapid Rumbles, a Capture the Flag version, and King of the Hill. The mini-games are mainly entertaining diversions. However, one bonus game in particular sticks out as really fantastic. It's called Armies of the Night, and it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up in the vein of Final Fight or Double Dragon, complete with the opening sequence from the latter. The cooperative play is basically what you'd expect, and it mostly consists of 2 players standing next to each other and bashing up a bunch of men. Marvelous Gamers Review. The Warriors has a lot of merits. The gameplay is diverse, the fighting is challenging, and the presentational and multiplayer additions help to propel the game ahead. The game's excessive amounts of violence may be the game's most significant concern for many, but considering its source material, you can't blame them. Of course, the occasionally shaky camera and high difficulty level may not be warmly accepted. The Warriors is a fantastic multiplayer game that does a lot with a license that most people wouldn't have anticipated much from. It's a significant stride forward in the brawling genre, and that's a huge win. If you liked this video, then please do like and share. If you are new to this channel, then please do subscribe and press the bell icon to receive all the notifications when we upload a new video, which is every day. Bye.